Priyaya Kesavasucha Vishnu Bhakti Paridevi Sajivachai Namo Namaha Tulsi Maharani Ki Jai. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivara Jari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivara Jari Yashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yamuna Tiravanachari Yamuna Tiravanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivara Jari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivara Jari Yashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Tiravanachari Yamuna Tiravanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Jaya Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada, Jaya Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada, Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada, Jaya Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada, Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parakacharya Stutatis Divine Grace Abhay Charan Vinda Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai Nantakoti Vaishnav Vrinda Ki Jai Namacharya Sri Haridas Thakur Ki Jai Prem Se Kaho Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Sri Vasari Gaura Bhakti Vrinda Ki Jai Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopinath Shamakunda Radhakunda Giri Govardhan ki jai, Shri Vrindavan ki jai, Shri Mayapur Dham ki jai, Shri Gangamai ki jai, Shri Jamuna Mai ki jai, Shri Bhakti Devi ki jai, Shri Tulsi Maharani ki jai, Samaveda Bhaktivinoda ki jai. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories, all glories, all glories to Sri Guru and Sri Gauranga. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. We're continuing our study of the 10th canto of the Srimad Bhagavatam, and each text, each story is interwoven with one another in so much rich detail. And right now, yesterday we just started on chapter 69, which is that time that Narada Muni visits Lord Krishna's palaces in Dwarka. And we're going to start with text 7 and 8. It gives a little more detail of the palaces. Yeah. Dashamantapuram Srimad Architam Sarvadishnyapay Hare Svakaushalyam Yatra Tvastra Karshneya Darshitam Dashamantai Puram Srimad Architam Sarvadishnyapay Hare Svakaushalyam Yatra Tvastra Karshneya Darshitam Dashamantapuram Srimad Architam Sarvadishnyapay Hare Svakaushalyam Yatra Tvastra Karshneya Darshitam Karshneya Dashamantapuram Srimad Architam Sarvadishnyapay Hare Swam Dashyana Padpa Vastra Karshnesha Darshitam Dashamantyapuram Srimad Architam Sarvadishnyapay Hari Svakaushalyam Yatra Vastra Karshneya Darshitam Dashamantapuram Srimad Architam Sarvadishnyapay Hare Svakaushalyam Yatra Vastra Karshneya Darshitam. And let's all read together the second portion of this text. It's text number 8. Tatra soda sabi sadma sahasrai samalankritam viveshai katomam sarai patninam bhavanam mahat. Okay, word for word. Tashyam, in that Dwarka, Antaipuram, the private royal precinct. Srimat, opulent. Architam, worshipped. Sarva, all. Dishnya, of the various planetary systems. By the maintainers. Hariya, of Lord Hari. Swa, his own. Kashalyam, expertise. Yatra, where. Twastra, by Twasta. Vishvakarma, the architect of heaven. Karsnena, completely. Darshitam, shown. Tatra, there. Sodashavi, with 16. Sadma, of residences. Sahasra, thousands. Samalankritam, beautified. Vivesha, Narada, entered. Ekatamam, one of them. Sare, Lord Krishna's. Patninam, of the wives. Pavanam, palace. Mahat, great. Translation. In the city of Dwarka was a beautiful private quarter worshipped by the planetary rulers. This district, where the demigod Vishvakarma had shown all his divine skill, was the residential area of Lord Hari, and thus it was gorgeously decorated by the 16,000 palaces of Lord Krishna's queens. Narada Muni entered one of these immense palaces. And please repeat, in the city of Dwarka was a beautiful private quarter worshipped by the planetary rulers. This district, where the demigod Vishvakarma had shown all his divine skill, was the residential area of Lord Hari. And thus it was gorgeously decorated by the 16,000 palaces of Lord Krishna's queens. Narada Muni entered one of these immense palaces. Purport by the servants of A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Srila Jiva Goswami points out that Twasta, Vishvakarma, manifested the expertise of the Supreme Lord, and thus he was able to build such exquisite palaces. Srila Prabhupada writes, the great kings and princes of the world used to visit these palaces just to worship Lord Krishna. The architectural plans were made personally by Vishvakarma, the engineer of the demigods, and in the construction of the palaces, he exhibited all of his talents and ingenuity. Om Gyana Tinamandasya Gnanjana Shalakaya Chakshur Unminitam Yena Tasmai Sri Guruve Namaha. Namo Vishnu Vidaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nivishesha Sunyavani Paschatya Desatarine. Namo Vishnu Vidaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimati Bir Krishna Das Goswami Niti Namine Namo Hamsane Kashaya Prabhupada Prayayate Sudrida Sudhi Nisyam Vyam Tasha Vaki Nivadine. So we're reading, I'm going to read a little bit of what the Acharyas actually, particularly Jiva Goswami, honed in on. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur said, in Dwarka there were decorated palaces. Narada entered one of the queen's palaces. And Jiva Goswami elaborates a bit. The palaces are described in 6 verses. The place was endowed with all beauty and wealth, Srimad. In this area, Vishvakarma's extraordinary sva architectural skill was continually revealed. These 16,000 palaces were more attractive than the buildings previously described, being completely ornamented, sam alankritam. Narada entered a great palace, the oldest and best, Mahat, belonging to Rukmini. This is also mentioned in verse 14. This was the reason he entered this palace first. The phrase, Hare Sva Kashalyam Yatra Twastra Kartsnenya Darshitam can also mean the palaces were manifested by Vishvakarma through the instructions of the Lord, not by his own powers. And that part particularly is what is the main crux of not only this verse, but actually practically everything that we hear about, read about, see in our daily lives even, but certainly you're reading about in the Srimad Bhagavatam, that Vishvakarma was a surrendered personality, and he was, yes, the architect of the demigods, he was a demigod, he was an exalted person, but he was moved or instructed or somehow from within or without by Krishna. Krishna is actually the architect of everything. Krishna is the architect of this universe. Krishna is the architect, ultimately, of every atom, every bit, every one, everything. Krishna is the architect. Of course, he doesn't have to do much. He's Aptakama, he's Swarat, he's the supreme autocrat. He doesn't have to do anything, or he doesn't really have to work to manifest all of this. He employs others to do that. He employs others to do his bidding. He employed Vishvakarma through divine, bestowing this divine realization, or however he conveyed to Vishvakarma to construct his own area very, very, very precisely. And we can read through a little bit, but we will see upcoming, and we see in every verse of the Srimad Bhagavatam practically how Krishna is behind every little aspect of our lives, every little aspect of this universe, other universes, the millions of universes that are coming from the Mahavishnu, who's situated on the Milk Ocean, and his breathing in and out of his pores of universes, millions of universes. Simply by his breathing, he's manifesting everything. Right? We've read about that, and we can understand practically. And I think even, there's the trickle-down effect. We read in the Bhagavatam about Lord Hari's beautiful, his beautiful abode. And I will read the next, particularly the next text. When you hear about it, you can't, how can you fathom what Lord Hari's abode looks like in Dwarka? It's, for our very limited vision, imagination, and brain space, we can't really imagine the kind of detail that must be there. In this world, there's a lot of emphasis, or I'll say a spotlight when someone builds a magnificent structure. Even we've seen the Taj Mahal, which is an enduring, an enduring symbol of someone's very, very potent and realized vision of something that they desired to build, right? This was an empowered person that was able to construct such a monument. Ultimately that was built for his wife, and he was able to construct this very elaborate thing on this planet. But, as we know, even from Lord Nrsimha, his pastimes, when Hiranyakshipu asked Prahlad, who would not be killed no matter how many different ways, how many different methods, times, places, circumstances, Hiranyakshipu had thought up to dispatch this devotee of the Lord. And finally, in frustration, he says, where do you get your power? And he very clearly says, it's the same place you get your power. Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. That's where everyone is deriving their potencies, their actions, The non-devotees choose to tune that out. They choose to turn it off. They don't want to hear those things. They want to make their own plans. They want to have their own schemes. They don't like the fact that they can't control what they want to control, right? What their own plan is. They want their plan and they want it now. They don't want to have anyone interfering. So they turn off that advice. But as devotees, as we attempt to connect with Krishna on a daily basis in our sadhana bhakti practice and our chanting of the holy names, we're able to tune in a little bit more to what Krishna is telling us. I'm sure everyone has had that experience here. There's so many times people exclaim or they're in awe because they had some plan, but then another plan took over. And at first it's hard to accept when that other plan takes over, but then in the end, the devotees are like, wow, it turned out better than I expected. Went better than I thought it would. I couldn't have dreamed it was going to go so well. So we know that Krishna's behind every little aspect. Not a blade of grass moves without the sanction of the Lord. And if everyone just kept that in mind, I think the world would be quite a different place, actually. So I'm just going to read the translation. The Sanskrit's quite long. And this is the translation for text 9 through 12, so the next 4 texts. Supporting the palace were coral pillars decoratively inlaid with Vaidurya gems. Sapphires bedecked the walls, and the floors glowed with perpetual brilliance. In that place, Twasta had arranged canopies with hanging strands of pearls. There were also seats and beds fashioned of ivory and precious jewels. In attendance were many well-dressed maidservants bearing lockets on their necks, and also armor-clad guards with turbans, fine uniforms, and jeweled earrings. The glow of numerous jewel-studded lamps dispelled all darkness in the palace. My dear king, on the ornate ridges of the roof danced loudly crying peacocks who saw the fragrant agaru incense escaping through the holes of the latticed windows and mistook it for a cloud. And notice in that translation it said that Twasta had arranged. So when one arranges, there's some instruction. There's some, someone is impelled to do something in a certain way. And, arranging means putting things into place. And that was at the behest of the Lord. And if you can imagine this scene, canopies with hanging strands of pearls, seats and beds fashioned of ivory and precious jewels, all these wonderful persons, maidservants, guards, and others who were able to facilitate the scene, and even the peacocks. Everything's being arranged by Krishna. And Jiva Goswami writes about this. His unpacking of it can show us a little bit more in depth. Taking one palace, the main elements are first described. Ahata Tvasa means that the palace never got dirty. It was always brilliant. The main furnishings are described. Vishvakarma produced the couches and seats. The attendants are then described. There were female servants and young boys dressed in fine lower and upper cloths. The beauty above is described. The lamps were situated in the rooms. From this it is understood that Narada had arrived at night. Though he saw activities of different parts of the day, he actually went simultaneously to each palace to examine the Lord's activities. When he saw the Lord sitting on the couch, it was evening. The peacocks could see the agaru incense smoke through it, and was night because of the presence of jeweled lamps. The palaces of the other queens were similar. So not only was there one palace that looked this elaborate, this fully expressed as a little mini snapshot of the Lord's abode, but there was 16,000 other palaces like this. I mean, and we talk about grains of sand. If you know that there's, or actually a drop in the ocean, if you take an analysis of one drop of the ocean, you can understand that all the constituents in that drop are fully manifest in the full ocean. All the rest of or if you test one grain of rice in a pot of rice, then that indicates that the rice is done, like that. So, it's saying there's only 16,000 palaces, but we can understand that there's really unlimited, there could be unlimited, there's no limit. There's no limit to Krishna's manifestations. There's no limit to what he chooses to, how much opulence or riches. There's no limit to what he chooses to bestow or what he chooses to manifest. He's unlimited, he's unlimited in that respect. And as Narada is coming here, it's evening. The place never got dirty. The floors were brilliantly, brilliantly effulgent. I think there's even a depiction somewhere in a BBT, maybe in the Bhagavatam there might be I think we've all seen that picture, there's all these beautifully lit palaces, as far as you can see. And Narada's looking astonishingly at all these palaces. This is the transcendental power and the nature of the Lord. He's unlimited. He's able to display unlimited beauty, unlimited glories. And I'm sure we'll hear upcoming how astonished that Narada Muni is. It's like the Lord never fails to surprise, astonish, delight whoever is willing to open their eyes and see. There's always room for a miracle, and there's also always room for the unlimited splendor of the Lord. Even as we look around outside and look at trees, or various manifestations of the Lord, such as this temple, trees come from a seed, basically. And this temple came from a seed in the mind of a devotee, pure devotee, who just desired to manifest a place to glorify the Lord. And I'm sure, in all of the instances, whether it's, sometimes we see trees growing that were struck by lightning and it splits them and then they start growing into two parts, right? Or maybe even three. And I know when this temple was built, there was many trials and tribulations. When the Juhu temple was built, we were hearing from Jagat Purush yesterday, there was all these sort of challenges. When the Krishna Balaram temple was built, there was so many challenges. It's not that things aren't without challenges or these sort of things that pop up that could derail this manifestation of the Lord. But if it's something that is desired by the Lord and someone is sincerely intending on manifesting those things for the Lord, in the service of the Lord, to proclaim the glory of the Lord, etc., it cannot fail. There's no chance of failure. It's said if you just simply remember Lord Chaitanya, there's no possibility of failing with any endeavor that you make. If one just simply remembers the Lord as one is trying to endeavor, the endeavor may not look like it was imagined to look. There might be some little diversions, there might be some setbacks, like that. But in all instances, it's the Lord's plan. It's the Lord's plan. Just even thinking about this temple having been here for over 40 years now, that's quite remarkable. 40 years for a structure, 40 years of doing the same thing day after day after day after day after day. 40 years, that's no drop in the bucket. It's a very long time. We see so many businesses, or what to speak of persons, things are manifest, then things are unmanifest. That's the nature of this world. It's manifest for some time. They say that we're born, we grow, we produce some byproducts, right? This is the human life cycle, or even the jiva soul life cycle. Produce some byproducts and then begin to dwindle, and then once again fall away. That's constant ebb and flow, ebb and flow. And when one sees something that's not only continuing to persist, but also continually growing and expanding, we can understand that that's actually the Lord's hand, and the Lord's directing the wanderings of all living beings. He's helping everyone to continue that expansion. He's directing that expansion by directing his parts and parcels to contribute to that expansion. So for devotees, for us in the Krishna consciousness movement, we can understand that there's no limit, actually. There's no limit to what is capable, to what's possible. There's no limit. We're only limited by our own mindset, because Krishna is right there to give us that leg up, to give us that helping hand, to help us to expand and keep expanding and keep moving forward, onward and upward, to broadcast the message of the Lord. That's what we're here to do. We're here as his representatives. We're all here as Srila Prabhupada's representatives. And for us to have the wherewithal, it's not even, imaginable some of the things that can happen when the Lord actually, is consulted, or allowed to take us as his instruments and facilitates whatever the growth or unlimited potential is of a person or a project or a thing, you know. So many things that the Lord is allowing to be facilitated. And, you know, when we hear about this amazing opulence, obviously it's in the spiritual world, it's in Dwarka, you know, so it's up there, you know, we're not really thinking it's very applicable, right? I don't believe that, you know. Right here on this planet, we've seen what the Lord can do. We've seen the results practically, you know. We're seeing this TOVP, you know, it's taking a while, it's taking some time, but, you know, already it's drawing the attention of everybody around the world because it's one of the biggest structures going up in the world right now in our time. That's really exciting, you know. It's just the eyes, all eyes on that structure will turn everyone to think, wow, what's this huge, everybody's heard of the Taj Mahal, everybody's heard of Burj Khalifa, everybody's heard of, you know, at the time everybody was hearing about the Twin Towers, you know, everybody hears about these grand structures, and that draws attention, and that will draw more attention to Srila Prabhupada's ISKCON movement, and it will draw attention to Lord Chaitanya's message and mission. And, you know, for us on the ground, you know, as foot soldiers, if we're able to just continually try to reach out to just one person at a time, whether it be through Harinam, you know, everybody's ecstatic with Harinam, the bliss of Harinam, and book distribution, talking, sharing Krishna with others, new people coming to the temple, and then they come and they're just dumbstruck. They don't want to leave, you know, they're holding fast. We have to show the opulence of Krishna in a nutshell wherever we go, whether it be going into a store and just giving someone a cookie, or talking a little bit about the chanting of Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Just able to impress upon every living entity some little bit about Krishna consciousness. It's our goal and mission in these bodies. We derive this strength from the deities, Radha Golokananda, from this temple, this yatra, from each other. You know, we're able to derive from each other. It's a beautiful, wonderful web. It's a network that Krishna has provided for us, actually. Prabhupada facilitated. He actually was the Vishvakarma of ISKCON, of our little microcosm here, microcosm in this universe. ISKCON on this planet at this time. So if anybody has any comments, I just want to draw that distinction with Prabhupada being our, you know, he's our architect, he's our ambassador, he's everybody's ambassador, but he's particularly our architect. We're living in his construct and we're trying our best to help others pull themselves out of the clutches of Maya and the material conditioning to come into this wonderful web, this wonderful construct of ISKCON, chanting the holy names, sadhu, sangha, and the beauty of, you know, being here, the beauty of the little things we take for granted, like seeing the deities every day, the opulence, full of flowers, and the prasadam of the deities. You know, we're so grateful to have that every day. And others are too, as they start to understand and they can uncover themselves. And they know it's something they want to be involved with. They know. If they come here a couple times, they fully know they want to get into it more and more and more. More and more increasing. More and more increasing. More and more reaching out. More and more sharing. more and more connecting. All of these things, it's incumbent on us to do these things for humanity at large, showing the opulence of Krishna, advertising that opulence. Thank you very much for your attention as we go through this beautiful chapter and daily get to hear the most wonderful Amala Purana Srimad Bhagavatam. Hare Krishna. All glories to Sri Sri Radha Golokananda. All glories to Srila Prabhupada.
Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami Bhagavatam Samasitam Buddha Sundarangam Kandar Bhako Vidamaniya Vishesha Shobham Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami Angani Yasa Sakalen Priya Priti Manti Vasyan Vipan Kayanti Jiram Naganti Ananda Chinmaya Sadhu Jala Vigrahasya Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami.
Page 66. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Doya Koro More Doya Koro Toma Vinake Dayalu Jagata Samsare Bhavana Hetu Sabhavadara Bhavana Hetu Sabhavadara Mosamapatita Prabhu Napaibeara Amapatita Prabhu Napaibeara Aha Prabhu Nityananda Premananda Sukhi Aha Prabhu Nityananda Premananda Sukhi Kripa Balokana Kora Ami Boro Dukhi Doya Goro Sita Pati Advaita Goshai Sita Pati Tava Kripa Bale Pai Chaitanya Nita Kripa Bale Pai Chaitanya Nita Ha Ha Swarup Sanatana Rupa Raguna Alusana Dana Rupa Raguna Bhatta Yuga Shri Jiva Prabhu Lokana Guru Shri Acharya Prabhu Srinivas Guru Shri Acharya Prabhu Srinivas Ramachandra Sangamage Narotamadas Sangamage Narotamadas Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Daya Goro More Chaitanya Daya Goro More Toma Vina Ke Dayalu Jagata Samsare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Golokananda Radha Golokananda Shri Radhe Jaya Radha Golokananda Radha Golokananda Shri Radhe Jaya Giri Govardhan Jaya Giri Govardhan Jaya Giri Govardhan Jaya Shri Vrindavan Giri Govardhan Jaya Giri Govardhan Jaya Giri Jaya Gauranitai Jaya Gauranitai Jaya Gauranitai Jaya Gauranitai Gauranitai Jaya Gauranitai Gauranitai Jaya 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 Prabhupada 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada
Jaya Jaya
Prabhupada 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 Jaya 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 Gurudev 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 Jaya Jaya Gurudev 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 Jaya Jaya Gurudev. My dear Lord, please be merciful to me, because who can be more merciful than your Lordship within these three worlds? Your incarnation is just to reclaim the conditioned fallen souls, but I assure you that you will not find a more fallen soul than me. Therefore, my claim is first. My dear Lord Nityananda, you always are joyful in spiritual bliss. Since you always appear very happy, I have come to you because I am most unhappy. If you kindly put your glance over me, I may also become happy. My dear Advaita Prabhu, husband of Sita, you are so kind. Please be kind to me. If you are kind to me, naturally, Lord Chaitanya and Nityananda will also be kind to me. I pray for the mercy of Sarup Damodar, the six Goswamis, namely Sri Rupa Goswami, Sri Sanatana Goswami, Sri Bhatta Raghunath Goswami, Sri Gopal Bhatta Goswami, Sri Jiva Goswami, and Sri Raghunath Das Goswami, and Lokanath Prabhu. I, Narottama Das, pray to the merciful Srinivas Acharya, and I always desire the company of Ramachandra. Narottama Das Thakur Ki Jai. Jeto Darpana Marjanam Bhava Mahadavagni Nirvapanam Shreya Kairava Chandrika Vitaranam Vidyavadu Jivanam Anandam Buddhi Vardhanam Pratipadam Purnam Niswadanam Sarvatma Snapanam Vadam Vijayate Sri Krishna Sankirtanam Nam Namakari Bahuda Nija Sarva Shaktis Tatra Nitami Amita Smadane Nakala Eta Drisita Vakriban Bhagavan Mamapi Dordaiva Midrishani Hanina Nuragaha Trinarapi Sunichena Tarorapi Sahishnuna Amanina Manadena Kirtaniya Sada Hari Nadanam Najanam Nasundarim Kavitam Vajagadesha Kamaye Mama Janmani Janmanishkare Bhavatad Bhaktira Hetuki Tvayi Ayi nandan tanuja kinkaram, patita mam vishame bhavam bodho, kripaya tava pada pankaja, stita dula sindrishan dinchantaya, nayanam kalud asradaraya, vadanam gadgada rudairagira, pulakar nichitam vapukada, tava namagrane bhavishyati, Yuga yitam nimeshena, chakshusha pravishayitam, sunyayitam jagat sarvam, govinda vidahename, asishava padaratam manastumam, adarshana marna hadam karutuva, yatatata eva napada. Victory to the Sri Krishna Sankirtan, which cleanses the heart of all the dust accumulated for years, and it extinguishes the fire of conditional life, of repeated birth and death. This Sankirtan movement is the prime benediction of humanity at large, because it spreads the rays of the benediction moon. It is the life of all transcendental knowledge. It increases the ocean of transcendental bliss, and it enables us to fully taste the nectar for which we are always anxious. O my Lord, congregational chanting of your holy name alone can render all benedictions to human beings, and thus you have hundreds and millions of names like Krishna and Govinda. In these transcendental names, you have invested all your transcendental energies. There are not even hard and fast rules for chanting these names. O my Lord, out of kindness, you enable us to easily approach you by your holy names, but I am so unfortunate that I have no attraction for them. One should chant the holy name of the Lord in a humble state of mind, thinking oneself lower than the straw in the street. One should be more tolerant than a tree, devoid of all sense of false prestige, and should be ready to offer all respects to others. In such a state of mind, one can chant the holy name of the Lord constantly. O my Lord, I have no desire to accumulate wealth, nor do I want any women, nor do I want any number of followers. I only want your causeless devotional service, birth after birth. O son of Maharaj Nanda Krishna, I am your eternal servitor, yet somehow or other have fallen in the ocean of birth and death. Please pick me up from this ocean of death and place me as one of the atoms at your lotus feet. O my Lord, when will my eyes be decorated with tears of love flowing constantly when I chant your holy name? When will my voice choke up? And when will the hairs of my body stand on end at the recitation of your name? O Govinda, feeling your separation, I am considering a moment to be like 12 years or more. Tears are flowing from my eyes like torrents of rain. I am feeling all vacant in the world in your absence. I know no one but Krishna as my Lord. And he shall remain so, even if he handles me roughly by his embrace, or makes me broken-hearted by not being present before me. He is completely free to do everything and everything, for he is always worshipful Lord, unconditionally. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu ki jai. Sri Nityananda Ram ki jai. Thank you, Mother Chaitanya, for addressing the deities so beautifully for so many years. And thank you for Mahaprasadam breakfast, for the cooks, and for everyone's participation.